Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles and cousins, of course, and my new favorite, banana nanas or grumpies, or if you prefer, grandmothers and grandfathers, and baseball fans everywhere. Welcome to the 2019 playoffs from the 2020 Rewind perspective. That's right. We wrapped up the regular season. We had to wrap it up a little bit early because of the math. We are trying to bring you a season of Valley League baseball. And as you know, our baseball season starts on the 29th of May or around the 1st of June. And then ideally, we're finished by August 10th, mandated. We've got to be finished. I personally haven't seen it go past the 7th, but I know it has happened. So in order to do that, we had to bring up all your playoff games. And that takes us to today for our first playoff game of the 2020 Rewind season. Or if you're just really tuning in, this was actually played in 2019. But you know what? When there's no baseball or very little baseball, actually this thing's going to air on the 22nd, right? So there could be some Major League Baseball stuff by tomorrow. So you still got one more day to live vicariously through the Valley League, and then hopefully Major League will be back in action. And there's a lot of action to talk about. But before we bring you any of that, we can't bring you any of that unless we set the stage, right? So here to set the stage is Aaron. Everybody say hi to Aaron.
Hi, guys. I'm looking forward to some MLB action. We've gotten some exhibition games. Guys are in summer camp, as we're calling it now, instead of spring training. So we have some baseball, but we're still going to bring you some pretty cool playoff games from the Valley.
Yeah, boy, are we going to bring you some cool playoff games from the Valley. There's some really good stuff to talk about. I've seen two seriously heroic games. One was last year, which I talked about with the Woodstock River Bandits, and you were going to see one of the, what I think is one of the greatest heroic baseball games from the 2019 season. But I can't show you that until we say hi to Jordan. So everybody talk to Jordan.
What's going on, fans? And it's a brand new season tonight. So all that matters is how you play today so you can play tomorrow. Bring your best. This is where it matters.
Yeah, you got to stay in the action, because if you don't, it's the Valley League plays a best of 3. They used to play a best of 5 not that long ago. I was kind of surprised to see they went from 5 to 3. Interesting to know how quickly the Valley League changes. If you want to know more about that, you can hit 2 authors we've talked to in the past, Austin Gisriel and Chaz Weaver. Both of those guys wrote some great history about the Valley League. But hey, we're not here to teach you history today. We're here to teach you about the season of 2019. And we can't set the stage for the playoffs unless Aaron catches us up on all the standings. So here's how the 2019 regular season ended. Aaron, catch everybody up, please.
Absolutely. We have the 2 divisions, the North and the South. In the North, Strasburg ended up with the number 1 seed with a 26-16 record. Woodstock was behind them just barely with a 25-17 record. Then there was Newmarket, who was 7 games behind at 19-23. Winchester, 18-24. Percival's 15-27, and Front Royal 14-28. And just so everybody knows, it's the top 4 teams that do get in. In the South, we had Waynesboro on top. They ended up really on a tear towards the end of the season. They have a really good squad this year. They have the best record in the Valley at this point with a 31-11 record. Then Charlottesville, we've seen bring some pretty big bats. They ended up with a 25-17 record. Covington, 500, 21-21. And then Stanton, 19-23, and Harrisonburg, 18-24.
Yeah, so, the sad thing about the regular season is we're going to say goodbye to Front Royal for the year. We'll say goodbye to Percival, and we'll also say goodbye to Harrisonburg. All 3 of those teams had some great moments. So, while they didn't make the playoffs, there were certainly some highlights that are well worth remembering. All right, tonight's first game of the playoffs was a matchup between Charlottesville and Covington. Jordan, set the stage for us.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that Charlottesville right now, they are really coming in with a lot of momentum. And that's not to say that the Jacks don't have any, but this is a team that all throughout the regular season, and we were telling people even during the regular season, pay attention to the Tom Sox, especially when they're on offense, because they are notorious for taking these games and turning them into slugfests. I'm talking double-digit victories. When you have players like Thomas Francisco, when you have players like Kamen Richardson, these are guys whose combined batting average right now is .378. Aaron has said it before in previous podcasts. when you have got players like Francisco come in almost 20-game hitting streaks offensively, this is a team that can defeat you in numerous ways. And got to be honest, that's got to probably make Jasper Carmichael, he takes the mound tonight for the Tom Sox. That probably makes him feel a little bit more comfortable knowing that at any moment he could have just unlimited cushion to really work his stuff. But Carmichael really has a steady offense behind him. Now, the Jacks do not look down on this baseball team. They did finish with a 500 record, 21-21 on the season. They were in that one seed back, third seed overall behind Charlottesville. So these are two teams that really in some respects were neck and neck this year, especially when you look at the numbers. But again, guys like Caleb King are ready to take it to this Charlottesville offense, this Charlottesville squad, who really, we talked about in the regular season, they can be pretty dangerous, but look out, Covington can be just as dangerous back, Graham.
Yeah, look out. So our first game of the playoffs is going to be a matchup between the second and third place teams from the South Division. It's an exciting one. You've got the Tom Sox playing strong, and I love the heart of Covington. They've had some great players come out of that team and go on to play in the pros. Aaron, any comments to think as we start the playoffs from the season?
Yeah, well, just in this game in particular, I know that Jordan mentioned his name, but Kamen Richardson, he goes 3 for 3 in this game with a run. So he had a really good day at the plate. So watch him because every time he steps up, something happens. So just keep your eye on him and enjoy the game.
Yeah, well, for me, I'll share my observation, then Jordan, I'm going to hit you up for yours. I'm kind of amazed, honestly, at how fast the season's gone by. And this is the same. I know we're not playing real baseball and we're recapping the games, but I had the same experience I have in a typical baseball season, just doing these rewind games. The season kind of seems to take forever to get here. And then all of a sudden it's here and things are just going full steam ahead. And then a couple of weeks later, you look up and it's the playoffs, and it seems like a few days later it's over. And all of a sudden it's just like a race car passed you by. And it's like, where did it go? Jordan, how about you? Any thoughts or observations as we start the playoffs?
Yeah, Graham, I actually wanted to go briefly and talk about the three teams, like you mentioned earlier, who are not going to be a part of the postseason. And again, when I misspoke earlier saying, Charlottesville can really come at you double-digit innings, they can. But I referenced a certain game with the ninth inning, and that was the Stanton Braves. I really want to go ahead and first point out Harrisonburg. When you look at that game, they were only one game behind Stanton. Stanton finished with a record of 19-25, as Aaron said. The Turks, I mean, if they were where Winchester, maybe if they were switching positions with them, Winchester made it in with an 18-24 record. Harrisonburg was 18-24, and you go back and look at that game in the ninth where all you needed was 3 outs. They had a double-digit lead and still couldn't do it. That just puts a whole different level of emphasis on the importance of that game and really what could have been had Harrisonburg gotten those 3 outs a lot sooner. But either way, they were that 9 seed or that 9th overall team, not quite enough to make it, but still a lot of highlights nonetheless in that season. Pearl Seville, who I had so much fun, saying, the cannon's fired or they had their ammo stocked up. It really is hard to rebound when you start a season 1-7. They had some great games in the middle of the 2020 rewind season that really made you look at their squad and go, is this the same team? Because Pearl Seville really, really took off. There's so many games I can't even mention right now where they really showed the example of, we shot ourselves in the foot to start off the season, but here we are now. Unfortunately, they finished the season kind of how they started. They had a 5-game losing streak to cap off their regular season. And you know what? Just maybe a little bit better as far as just doing the little things right and really working on those errors. Who knows? Pearl Seville can be very dangerous going into 2021. And that brings it to Graham Front Royal. This was a team that they really fought this year. Sometimes the cards aren't in your favor. It was a 14-28 effort from them this year, a 3.33 win percentage. You know what? Some great highlights out of this team. Shane Scott and JMU fans really, all about Trey Dabney and how dangerous he was in his freshman year with this baseball team, with the Dukes. What he can bring to the Cardinals, that potential is there. Hopefully going forward into 2021, Front Royal really can find their stride, and in a year from now, we'll be having a playoff preview for them. But Graham, yeah, like you said, to bring it back to you, these three teams, not quite playoff material this year, but definitely a lot of good things to remember them by looking back on them.
Yeah, well, you bring up a really good point. Tight is the word I think of when I think of the competition in the Southern Division. I mean, just that battle for last place. And the theme that we're going to talk about over the course of these playoffs is what might have been. Really good points, Jordan. Aaron, any other thoughts before we wrap up this first playoff game and head into the championships? They're not coming right away, so don't get too excited about that.
I am just ready to get some playoff games started and see. I mean, it definitely more pressure. Everything matters a little bit more. And so the baseball seems to be just a little more exciting during playoff time.
Yeah, well, the Charlottesville Tom Sox is playing some great baseball this summer, and for our 2020 rewind season, so have the Covington Lumberjacks. So we hope you have enjoyed this first game of the 2020 rewind season playoffs. We're going to have another game for you tomorrow night. We've got lots more. We're going to carry this all the way through. It's only the 22nd of July, and we'll carry this all the way through to August 10th. So there's a ton of playoff action, championship action. So we hope you enjoy it. And as we wrap this one up, we want to say we wish you all perfect health, and we wish you all a speedy return to the baseball diamond. Until we get to our playoff game number 2 tomorrow night, for Jordan, Aaron, and myself, good night, everybody.
Good evening, baseball fans. Welcome to Seville Weekly Ballpark here at Charlottesville High School, here in Charlottesville, Virginia, for BBL South Division Series action, Game 1 between the Charlottesville Tom Sox and the Covington Lumberjacks. The 1-2, and it's a curveball that goes off the glove of Simon. Play at the plate coming, Carmichael covering, throw not in time, and that's how Covington's going to get on the board first. Fortin slides in safely. Now the 1-1 on the way, and that one is on the ground to second. McDyer fumbles it, tries to throw it over to first. It goes over the first baseman's head. Everybody's safe, and another run scores. So what should have been the routine end to an inning turns into a run for Covington. There he goes. The 0-1 is up high. The throw down to Fedgie Johnson, who's covering, bounces into his glove, and they tag the sliding Concha DeFaro out.
And Richardson with a very similar injury to what Christian Hlinka suffered, both injuries coming off of being hit by a pitch. Of course, Hlinka getting hit in the knee, and then Richardson getting hit right in the hand.
3-2 pitch, and that one's just off the plate. So the Tom Sox get their first runner aboard here tonight, and that'll bring up probably their most reliable hitter in Thomas Francisco. Francisco on first, Richardson on second. That one on a line to second. Fortin makes the grab, and the inning is over as he flips it over to second and doubles off Caden Richardson, who thought for sure that Hlinka had a base hit there. Nice play there by Joe Fortin.
The reason why he's so clutch, for sure.
Curveball on an 0-2 count, and Sanfilippo goes opposite field and strokes it to the left down the line, gets down, and he's trying for a second. Harwood guns it back in, but it's going to be just a little bit late. With 2 away, the 2-2 delivery is up in the air, short over the infield. McDyer coming into the lip of the grass, and he makes the grab for out number 3. So the Tom Sox give up a leadoff double, but it doesn't do any damage as they still trail heading into the bottom of the second. Harwood, we were talking about hit by pitches earlier and how a couple guys have gotten hurt. He's been hit the most on the team and has stayed healthy.
And has somehow avoided an injury.
Gets into this one, into center field. It's pretty deep. It drives Concha DeFaro back toward the track, the wall. He leaps, and it goes over the fence. Wow, I didn't think that one had it, but it's a home run, Charlottesville Tom Sox. Wow, I thought Concha DeFaro had a pretty good handle on that one, but it kept carrying and carrying in this Virginia heat. Well, this game is tied.
And Concha DeFaro came down looking at his glove like he had the ball in it and was just waiting to throw it back to the infield. But what a time for a home run from Big Dan Harwood.
King winds up, delivers, and Simon swings and misses on a pitch out of the strike zone. But Covington sets the lineup down, but not before giving up 2 runs, giving up the lead. We are even here, courtesy of a 2-run home run off the bat of Dan Harwood.
To catch up in that second place spot.
2-2 to Nazario is stroked pretty well into left, drives Harwood back, and it's going to bounce and roll all the way to the wall. Harwood picks it up and throws it back in, but Nazario with a stand-up double with 1 away. And now this one is up the elevator shaft, right side of the infield. Who's going to get it? It's going to be the first baseman, Francisco, and the side is retired here in the top of the third. Richardson on third.
Exactly, and you saw how oddly that first pitch bounced off the back wall.
This one is on the ground to first by McDyer, and the pitcher unaware, not covering. McDyer is safe. Infield single. Richardson scores. The Tom Sox lead 3-2. Holinka now first pitch swinging, puts a charge into it to left, and it goes over the head of Nazario. McDyer on his horse. He's around third. Holinka pulls into second. Throw to the plate is not in time. King looks back to second. Now he delivers, and that one is stroked. Well hit down the right field line. Will it stay fair? It will. That one is gone. Home run, Charlottesville Tom Sox. And Austin Mueller making an impact in his short time here.
Well, when it rains, it pours, and it is now a 4-run third inning for the Tom Sox, and now a 4-run lead for the Tom Sox after falling behind 2-0 in the first inning. Heck of a home run there from Mueller's.
The 0-1 is belted to short, couple of hops, gloved by Bardich. Over to first, almost pulls Sanfilippo off the bag, but good job there by the first baseman.
Carmichael delivers, and this one popped up in between the gap between left and center field, and that's going to be a home run for Covington. Just falling short of the scoreboard between Cayman Richardson and Dan Harwood. So now 6-3, and the first home run giving up of today's game, and actually of his Tom Sox career, by Jasper Carmichael. The first pitch from Carmichael is called strike. 1 out, 6-3 is your score, as yet another ball in between Harwood and Richardson. This one going to fall short at the wall right at the UVA orthopedic sign. It's hurled by Harwood back to the infield, but a stand-up double there for Sanfilippo.
Consistency. It's been consistent all night, and that's what's important.
And a swing and a miss there for Fortin. So the strikeout from Haney ends the inning. King digs in, delivers, and this one hit down the same spot by Francisco. So back-to-back singles for the Tom Sox with 2 outs on the board. So King will remain on the mound for the Lumberjacks. He delivers to McDyer, and that one, a pass, wild pitch. King winds up, delivers, and catches McDyer swing there. So a strikeout from King ends the inning. Tom Sox strand a pair. It's still 6-3 as we head to the 5th inning. This one is hit deep by Torres. Going back after it is Ramon Garza, and that is going to be yet another home run for Covington. Torres with the second home run of the day for the Lumberjacks, and the lead is now just 2 for the Tom Sox after that explosive 4-run third inning. 6-4, 1 out. As this one again is chopped up towards Fedgy Johnson. He'll take his time, collect it, and send it over to Thomas Francisco. So Fedgy Johnson gets the last 2 outs.
Double to the wall and left last time at the plate. Scored on Austin Mueller's home run.
And Linka pops this one over toward left field. And it is caught for the first out for the Tom Sox. So a quick out here. This is a Tom Sox team that has rode big innings throughout this season. This is not a team that will consistently put runs on you, but one that will just overwhelm you with a few good innings. As Ramon Garza grounds out, tag out or force out is made over at second, and the Tom Sox unable to tack on to their lead. It is still 6-4.
As we've said, small strike zone tonight, but a consistent one from this home plate umpire, which is paramount.
I mean, consistency is all you can ask for. As Haney delivers, and this one is chopped over. Fedgy Johnson unable to make the diving grab, and running towards it is Cayman Richardson, who will stop Sanfilippo over at first. Again, awaiting the signal from Josh Simon. He'll get set, delivers, and this one chopped towards Thomas Mueller again. He will flick it over to Thomas Francisco for the third out of the inning, so the Tom Sox prevent any damage. Score is still 6-4. We'll be back with the bottom of the 6th here in Charlottesville. Richardson will swing, and that one will find that gap once again between first and second. So 2 runners on now thanks to the single from Richardson. And
3 3-0 misses high and outside. So Covington with their leadoff hitter aboard here in the top of the 7th inning. These two teams have played some close ones here at Seafood Weekly Ballpark. Curveball hit high in the air, foul territory. Simon has room, makes the grab, and the side is retired. So the Tom Sox surrender a leadoff base runner, as they have so often tonight.
Kunde in danger of putting a Tom Sox runner on.
3-1, and he does just that with a fastball outside. So a 2-out base runner for Charlottesville as they cling to a 6-4 lead here in the bottom of the 7th. And Dan Harwood, who's already got a 2-run homer tonight, digs in, looking to keep this inning going. Kunde looks back to second, and Garza pops that one a mile high. Coming toward the first baseline, the pitcher calls for it, Kunde, and he makes the catch right on the line, about 10 feet from home plate. So Tom Sox leave a couple of guys on base, unable to add to the 6-4 lead, and they will go into the top of the 8th when we return here on the Valley Baseball League Network. Tom Sox bats have gone silent since that 4-run 3rd inning, and this one is on the ground, and it's a fair ball down the left field line into the Covington bullpen. Up with it, Harwood. He spins and throws it in, but it's a leadoff double for Covington.
And Haney with the chance to get the Tom Sox out here alive.
Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3, and a huge strikeout from Charlottesville's own Jake Haney, and the Tom Sox get out of the inning still with a 2-run lead.
McDyer with plenty of visitors at today's game. Bunch of family members.
And he hits this one in the air to right field. Medium depth, Baselli coming on. Veggie Johnson's going to tag from third. The throw is nowhere near the mark, and the Tom Sox get a big insurance run.
With a big game of his own. Looking to add just one more insurance run, 90 feet for Giacomazzi on third.
The 1-1, Kunde delivers. This one is on the ground to first, off the glove of Sanfilippo. Kunde coming over to cover. He can't handle the throw. Giacomazzi touches the plate. It's 8-4 Tom Sox.
Laska Abney's been Mr. Clutch for the Tom Sox so far this season. 13 appearances, 10 of them have been scoreless.
This one gets away from the catcher. The runner, Francisco, slides in safely. So now it's 9-4, and the guy they ended up intentionally walking comes around to score.
Mostly used in this kind of situation as a 9th inning reliever.
Strike 3 called to Austin Mueller, who can't believe it, but he is down on strikes to retire the side, but not before the Tom Sox push across 3 runs, and it's 9-4. Abney, the sidearm delivery. This one, first pitch swinging to Baltimore, chop to second base. McDyer coming on, gobbles it up and flips it over to first in time for out number 1. 2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and the Tom Sox win 9-4 in Game 1 of the Valley Baseball League South Division Series over the Covington Lumberjacks, and they will head to Covington tomorrow looking for a berth in the championship series.